All right, let's get this thing going. I realize I don't have an intro video, so let's just start it. Welcome in here.
It's time for the ultimate face-off. The Beard
Well,
Bowl.
no. Hold up.
Oh, hey guys.
Welcome in
How
here,
we
episode
doing?
59 of Burns and Berman. We are back
Welcome.
after a week off. I was in Mobile for the Senior Bowl. It was a ton of fun. Got a ton of great content, which actually we're not even finished putting up yet. We still got a couple more interviews that we got to put up. Michael has a ton that he needs to end, and I have a couple still. I need to as well. But yeah, I mean, it was a great week.
Yeah.
And it was a good little distraction, from Super Bowl hype. And really, this is the week where I can get into the Super Bowl and this matchup that we got. And of course, it's very upsetting that we're not in the game, but I really do think this is a great matchup. It's unfortunate because we don't want to see it because it's a matchup we've already seen and all that. But in terms of the actual game, I really do think it's a good matchup. So I'm excited to get into that, and we'll do that over the course of the week. But
yeah,
Burns, you are 21.
I did it.
21
Finally.
years old, Burns.
Thank you, Joshua. This weekend was it's hitting me right now. It really is, and I'm running off of 4 hours of sleep. The past 2 nights combined, probably
combined
10 hours total. The past 2 nights. The boys were fired up this weekend, and it was a great time. And now I have to go and sit in a stupid fucking Monday night class for 3 hours tonight, and it's not going well. But the party doesn't stop there because flying out to Vegas on Friday, I get to see our beautiful producer Jack.
Yes.
So Wednesday, because I'm going to be in the air during Burns and Berman time. At least I think. I don't know what the time zones, but like
I think I have a game on Friday.
Okay, and right when I get there, I'm fucking, I got to lock in with everything. So, what's it called? So Wednesday.
Episode of the week.
Wednesday will be our Super Bowl show.
Okay, I'm not going to give my pick. We have our kickoff show on Sunday this week.
Fuck you.
But
yeah, on Wednesday I'm in. But went to University of Illinois Saturday night. Cam's is probably the best bar that I've ever been to. It is awesome.
Which you now can go into legally.
No, actually, in Champaign, Illinois, you can get into a bar at 19 years old. So I've been going there since my freshman year of college. That place is fucking awesome. It's insane. It's like 2 floors. It's super cool. Yeah. But then, what's it called? Went to the casino yesterday. I lost like $80. It happens. Went in there. I was up actually, and then we stopped by this morning to get a coffee, and because they have free coffee there and free soda, pretty good. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
We went by to get a coffee, and I lost like $40 this morning when I was only down 40 last night. So it happens.
You're turning into a degenerate, aren't you?
No, I was just telling Josh. So it was really weird going there. All it was just a bunch of 80-year-old people with like their walkers or they're sitting right next to them, just yelling at machines the whole time.
I don't know what you like expected.
Well, no, I mean, I expected it, but when you actually see it, it's pretty weird. But I mean, I also went there on a Sunday, not like a Saturday night or something, when it would be like all the young people go there, just like every once in a while. It was a random Sunday night, and I was there till 2 a.m. It was great though. It was great. We got a hotel room and everything. Me and boys, we had a good night. But it's Super Bowl week. What I'm doing literally directly after this is I'm signing up for every single sports book, getting the first deposit bonuses so that I have like $500, $600 to bet on the Super Bowl, and I'm deciding it today.
You are 1,000% turning into a degenerate.
I already have been for like 2 years. So it's just like now it's just like, now it's like, okay. But no, I love sports betting. Only really on football though. The only other times I bet besides football season is if I go to like a Cubs game. That's really it. Or just some random night. I'll be like, you know what? NBA basketball is on. And then I just watch NBA basketball.
There you go.
But I got to do the ad read.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Burns, this episode brought to you by Manscaped.
Yes.
Burns is a little
Before I
friendly.
do that, just lastly, also, thank you all so much from TikTok, Twitter, everywhere for all the birthday wishes. I can show you guys this right here. Last thing. $5 whole bucks on the Chicago Bears to win the Super Bowl next year. I'm keeping it.
How much
it's
would you
happening. Win? 5 to 200. So I win $200 if they win the Super Bowl. I'm keeping that on me. But here we go. I'm just going to keep it like the same energy that I'm at right now because I think that's even funnier because it's supposed to be like really hype, but
no, this is the Manscaped read, Burns.
It's time for the ultimate face-off. The Beard Bowl is here.
No one's going to sponsor us ever again. Keep going.
As the two best teams face square off to see who is the champion of facial fuzzes. Our friends at Manscaped are prepping everything you need for game day. Manscaped's Beard Hedger Pro Kit is the MVP of facial grooming, offering precision trimming, water-resistant technology, and enough styling options to outplay any opponent. And guess what, guys? You can join the winning team along with the 10 million men who already trust Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com and use code N4LMedia for 20% off and free shipping. Craft your winning look with Manscaped.
There you go. No one's going to sponsor us ever again.
Yes, they will. That made it way cooler.
Okay.
That made it way cooler. Just wait for the Valentine's Day one. That's when we get really crazy. Oh my gosh, it's nuts, dude.
I am excited for that one.
The first line, and I'm just reading it right now. Holy cow.
Yep.
Guys,
the first line is the best line, honestly.
It is, man. We're winning the fucking Beard Bowl, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, Greg Roman got signed.
He did.
The Chargers hired him not as an OC, which is originally what we heard a lot about, him being an OC there. He will not be the OC for the Chargers, but he will be on the staff. He will be a member of Jim Harbaugh's staff. Something that's happened in the last week, the Ravens staff has been poached big time, both in LA and in Seattle. And it has sent Ravens Twitter, especially considering it is right on the heels of an AFC Championship game loss, into absolute shambles. Mm-hmm. This fan base is acting like we just went 4-13 right now. It is ugly, and people want Harbaugh gone now. I don't agree with it, but I'm telling you that is what is going on on Ravens Twitter. Now,
Joshua, at the same time, both of our teams, offensive coordinators from our teams, past offensive coordinators that we do not like, both got hired.
Yeah, yours is as an OC.
Yeah. Luke Getsy, and you got Greg Roman. We're twinning a little bit. Yeah. It's weird.
So, yeah, the Ravens have lost this past week. Denard Wilson, our DB coach, is now the DC for the Titans. Our D-line coach, Anthony Weaver, is now the DC for the Dolphins. Our DC, Mike McDonald, is now the head coach of the Seahawks. Joe Ortiz, a very high-ranking front office member for the Ravens for the last 25 years, is now the GM of the Chargers. What else am I missing? There's more. Let's see. And our linebacker coach, Zach Orr, who is a former Ravens linebacker, by the way, who has an incredible story that I will be making a video on probably the next day or two. But long story short, Zach Orr, who is now our new DC, was a linebacker that the Ravens drafted actually he was undrafted now, think about it, in about 2013, was a special teams player for a couple of years. In 2015, he got elevated to the starting linebacker role next to CJ Mosley. This man was a second-team All-Pro linebacker in 2015. He was one of the best linebackers in the NFL and completely came out of nowhere. What'd you say?
You just like moved like all the way up, and you were like sitting like that for
I
like
don't know.
2 seconds.
Anyway, completely came out of nowhere for the Ravens in 2015, second team All Pro. But then that offseason in a physical, it was discovered that he had a like a neurological issue in his back, in his spine, that
That's fucked.
essentially meant that if he got hit the wrong way, he would be paralyzed for life.
Yeah, that's when
So
you don't play football
immediately
anymore.
he retired, joined the Ravens coaching staff, and now 7 years later, he has now risen all the way up the coaching ranks from a personnel assistant to the defensive coordinator. And so
Yeah.
it's awesome. I'm very happy for him. And there you go. So shout out to Zach.
What I really want to talk about is number one, Luke Getsy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. You saw what happened with the Chicago Bears offense and how the Raiders don't think that Luke Getsy was the problem because the Bears had the number one like rushing offense in the NFL, one of up there. They lead a couple stat categories. And also big play percentage. Apparently they were in the top 3 in the NFL, which is pretty cool. But the reason why they were the number one rushing offense in the NFL and they were big in big plays was because of Justin Fields. It wasn't because of Luke
So, by
Getsy.
the way, I have been saying for about a week or so before they hired Getsy that I think he's going to go to Vegas. I think that's very possible.
Oh, Fields?
Yeah.
Fields of Vegas? Yeah, no, that's a very big possibility. Look, the biggest what's it called? Justin Fields was the reason why the Bears offense was even remotely successful. You look at the talent on that offense, and I mean, obviously, it's a pretty talented offense. Cole Kmet had his best year yet. DJ Moore had his best year in his NFL career. The running back room was just unbelievable, but Justin Fields was the reason they all succeed.
And you think Luke Getsy deserves zero credit for that?
I really don't think he deserves a lot of credit. 99% of the time, Josh, the reason why the Bears offense was successful was from Justin Fields playing hero ball. That's really what it came down to. It was either him, like all those rushing yards, Justin Fields. Justin Fields, Justin Fields, Justin Fields.
Maybe you don't like him as a play caller, but you don't think even as a coach he deserves any credit?
As a coach, sure, but play caller, it's just abysmal. I think the best way to sum it up is just his last play ever as a Bear. 3rd and 22, wide receiver screen.
What was the score?
What
was the score?
It was the last play of the Packers game. It was like fucking God. What was the final score of that game? Like 17-9, I think.
So it was a 1-score game.
No. It was what was the fucking final score of that game? I don't know. I was like crying. Yeah, it was 17-9. 17-9.
So it was a 1-score game.
Yeah, and with your last drive of the game on 3rd and 22, you throw a screen pass, and then you punt the ball.
There's no way they punted what? How did they punt the ball when it was a 1-score game?
3 timeouts. Tried to get a stop on defense.
Oh.
But that was his last offensive play call, was a 3rd and 22 screen pass. When he put up 9 points.
Yards after catch, try and get easier for a 4th down, field position boundable. I mean, like 3rd and 22, you only have so many play calls you can make.
Just fucking do something else, dude. It's just, and it was overthrown out of bounds.
Well, that's not his fault.
I know, but just in general,
not his fault.
Just in general, from watching all year long, I mean, Luke Getsy, he's just. I don't know how the Bears struggle so much finding a good OC. I don't know how. It's been years. They have never been able to have just a good
offensive coordinator is the number one most scrutinized and overcriticized job.
It is. You know who has been one of the best offensive coordinators for the Chicago Bears? This is going to sound crazy. Mark Trestman.
Terrible for the Ravens.
He was a coach. He was a coach, but Mark Trestman.
Terrible for the Ravens.
Terrible. Oh, yeah, for the Bears too. Adam Gase ran that offense purely. He was one of the only coordinators I can name in a long time, besides like Vic Fangio.
Adam Gase earned a head coaching job after being in Chicago for a reason.
Yes, Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Besides Vic Fangio, I can't go back and think of another head coach that earned a job as a coordinator in Chicago.
Speaking of which, I got a rant for you here that obviously now the Ravens losing Mike McDonald has a lot to do with this being a thought in my head, but I've been thinking about this. So if a team loses a big time free agent, you get a compensatory pick, right?
Sure.
Teams should get a compensatory pick if you lose an assistant to become a head coach. The Ravens should get a pick for Mike McDonald. The Bengals should get a pick for Brian Callahan. Who else am I missing? The Cowboys should get one for Dan Quinn. Like, that should be worth compensation. That, like, using the Ravens as an example, losing Mike McDonald is massive for that defense. It's just as big as losing a big-time free agent, which you can get up to a third-round compensatory pick for. Teams should get compensation if you lose a coach to become a head coach somewhere else. Now, if it's assistant to become an assistant somewhere else, it's different. Like, again, use the Ravens example. Is Anthony Weaver becoming the DC as the Dolphins? He shouldn't get compensation.
So it would only be if it was an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator that became a head coach.
Any place on your roster, though, if you go from your staff and they become a head coach somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's
because those are huge losses.
I like it. I feel like it would have to be worked out so that there's no way that people could just like hack the system of it and then just like trade out like new offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators every year, basically.
No, they have to get hired as a head coach.
Well, yeah, I think that's not the end of the world. I think that's not a bad idea.
I mean, but even to your point though about moving coordinators around,
it just wouldn't be worth it because it would be what, like a 7th round pick?
No, I'm thinking day 3, earlier day 3, like round 4, round 5.
I'd say maybe like round 5. Say maybe like round 5.
But
round 5 or lower, honestly. You don't want it to be too much of an advantage, you know.
If you hire a minority coach, exactly what I'm saying, and the coach is a minority, you get 2 third-round picks.
Yeah,
That's a current rule.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, not bad. Not bad. I just think that we're doing too fucking much right now with these fucking draft picks. In general, dude. It feels like you get a draft pick for almost anything now. Like, you sold out your stadium the whole year. Congratulations. Here's a 2nd round pick. That's what it feels like right now.
Well, that would be different, but
yeah.
Really,
but
the only thing they give out compensatory picks for minority hires and losing free agents. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. But what's it called? I feel like it's just talked about more than it's actually. I feel like it's talked about like a million fucking times.
Right.
Like, I hear people talking about it every single day.
Well, with compensatory picks, though, what was I about to say? Lost my train of thought. Oh, with what you're saying about coordinators getting switched in and out. Let me give you a trivia question here. How many OCs from the 2021 NFL season are currently an OC with their team they're on right now? The same one from 2021 to now. Same offensive coordinator.
Josh, you're making me think right now at levels that I really didn't feel like today, but I'm trying. I don't know. Fucking
Want me to tell you?
Yeah.
0.
That's what I thought. Okay.
There are 0 offensive coordinators from 2021 that are on the same team they're on right now.
Yeah. It's nuts. That's how the league is.
That job is crazy.
Yeah, it is. That's how the league is, brother.
You either get fired or you get hired to be a head coach within 3 years. That is it.
That's how it goes.
If you are an OC for a team, you will either become a head coach somewhere else or fired within 3 years. That is the way the league is at this point.
It used to be the same way with defensive coordinators, but now the league's changing. It's turning into an offensive league, but at the same time, we're starting to go back to our defensive roots a little bit.
Well, it's been an offensive league for about 2 decades at this point.
Yeah, I know. But now you're starting to see a resurgence of defensive teams begin to slowly come back. You're starting to see it.
You know what I think it is? Speaking of that, something that I think you will see not go away, but I do think you will see start to be shut down because of there's a scheme out there in Baltimore that is now the head coach in Seattle and a lot of other coaches in that staff now in Tennessee, now in Miami. They all got coordinators from that staff, and there's one thing the Ravens defense did better than any defense I have seen do since it became prominent, and that is stopping RPOs. The Ravens
Yeah.
figured out a
Yeah.
way all season, and by the way, the Chiefs as well. Those are two defenses who run similar styles as well, I might add, that have done really, really well at stopping RPOs. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that you have a guy like Kyle Hamilton on your team, and the fact of the matter is not every team has a Kyle Hamilton. He's what he is for a reason. But
Yeah.
the scheme is set up where
Guys,
RPOs
this is
are
Ravens
nowhere
talk
near as
hour.
effective as they used to be. What?
Yeah. This is Ravens talk hour now. This is the Ravens show.
Well, this is more league-wide, I think. I
I'm
think this is
busting your
league-wide, though,
balls.
because
Keep
it's a
going.
copycat league. Everyone's
I'm
going to steal
busting your
that.
balls.
And now you're
Yeah.
seeing Seattle, Tennessee, and Miami. They now hire assistant coaches. They're going to take from that scheme. The University of Michigan did a great job at the college level of doing the same thing, stopping the RPOs. Guess who's the head coach of the LA Chargers? Jim Harbaugh. And guess who's his DC? The same one he had at Michigan and
He's
Jesse
doing
Minter.
it again.
So it's going to be interesting.
All right, look. My turn now. Number one, RPOs. I love when teams run them in the NFL, but Madden needs to fix the way that you do RPOs on there, because if you literally don't throw the ball the second you snap it, it's offside. It's a penalty every single time.
Yeah,
It doesn't work. It just doesn't work on Madden. Like, even if you run it the way it should, it doesn't work. But number two, since we just had Ravens talk Palooza, my turn, and we're talking not about the Chicago Bears, though. We're talking about the Washington Commanders. Cliff Kingsbury. Here's the thing. Rumors have already begun that they want Caleb Williams. Obviously, Caleb Williams grew up in Washington, D.C. Cliff Kingsbury, his OC at USC. Obviously, a lot of things are pointing that way. If you want the first overall pick, we want everything. Yeah. Everything. You give us everything, and then you can get them. I think I saw Schefter say it months ago that even moving in the top 5, like teams moving in the top 5, if you're already in it, it's going to cost you an absolute bag this draft.
Yeah. And that's why it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. No. It does make almost too much sense. It does for him to go to Washington.
He has to be available.
But I think that you just see through that. It's not worth it one bit. It's not worth it to give up your next. What do you think they would have to give up to move up with the Bears? Just mocking your head.
From 2 to 1.
How many first round picks?
Obviously the second pick. That's
pick swap. Yeah, pick swap.
I would say
2. The next 2 years.
Next 2 years.
Next 2 years.
Next 2 years and more mid-round compensation. It would
next 2 years and Terry McLaurin and call it a day.
That's a ton.
That's not.
Isn't Terry a free agent, or am I wrong? Am I wrong on that? Is Terry a free agent?
I'm potentially checking. Could be. He's going to get franchise tagged immediately, no?
He is not a free agent.
No, that's what I thought.
They extended him.
Yeah, either way, he would get franchise tagged immediately. Like, they're not letting him walk. They have nobody else to sign. They just got rid of fucking Montez Sweat and Chase Young in the middle of the season this year. But, I don't know. And I've seen a lot of Bears fans now. It's all the people who are like the Justin Fields fan club, because everybody's starting to see now. I mean, obviously, Schefter came out today and said that it's just looking like Caleb Williams to Chicago. Ian Rappaport.
I don't think it's even I think the only people that haven't realized that yet are the Justin Fields fan club.
And now they're starting, and now instead they're starting to say the Bears are drafting like Drake May or just like random quarterbacks out of the first round. It's not. I love Justin, man, and it's going to be the day that he gets traded. It's going to be a sad day, because it just sucks to see like a stand-up guy go. It sucks because he's such a great guy. He is a really good dude. And all I wanted for him to succeed. I said the only way that I wouldn't root for him is if he went to a team in the division. Besides that, I'm going to root for him wherever he goes. I might even get his fucking jersey wherever he goes. Like the hype that night when the Bears drafted Justin Fields, when they traded up for him.
Yeah.
Unreal. But we weren't ready. We weren't ready for it then at all. Justin Fields was done absolutely. I think that every single person could agree. Done absolutely dirty by the Chicago Bears organization. He was brought into a shit show, and he was treated like dog shit by this team. The fans loved him. The fans appreciated him. The city loves him. Dog shit by the organization.
So while we were talking about the Commanders, though, how about this?
It's
Ben
weird.
Johnson sounded like he was staying. Sounded like he was going to be the Commanders' new head coach. This felt like a done deal. And then, all of a sudden, while the Commanders are mid-flight to Detroit,
Yeah, no, I'm staying.
surprise, I'm staying.
That's such a dick move. I would pay anything to see like a live camera feed of that plane when they found out in the middle of the air. Like, I would pay money to see that.
I'm
But here's the
sure.
thing.
Now, I do know that they were on their way to hire interview Aaron Glenn, who is their DC.
Yeah.
But still, check it out on YouTube. Absolute heartbreak. But Ben Johnson staying in Detroit.
He is. And here's the
just
thing.
waiting it out.
I think here's the thing. The Lions, they're going to be in the same spot last year that they were this year. I don't think they go to the NFC Championship again. They'll make the playoffs. I think if they win the division again, unless if like
the NFC North, I think, is going to be the most interesting division in the NFL next year.
Yeah, no, it is. I said over the next like 5 years, it's going to be a top 3 division in football the next 5 years.
I think it's probably right now. I would say the division that is most just complete, really interesting division next year is the NFC North.
I mean, every team has a story. Lions, obviously, we all know about the Lions. We've heard about them for the past month.
Well, the Lions, Packers, and Bears are all obvious. It's the Vikings that are, I don't know. We don't know what to expect out of them.
Yeah, those are. I mean, Vikings, Kirk Cousins comeback story.
If he comes back, we don't know. He's a free agent.
I think he will. I think he'll come back. I think they're going to give him like 2-3 years, and they're going to say, "Let's fucking go, ride it out," and then he's going to retire after that. But the thing is about Ben Johnson, right? Is he is a great OC and everything.
Great.
But the Bears offense held his fucking offense to 13 points, and they will do it twice next year, and they will beat the Lions both times. That's all I really had to say. I think that Ben Johnson, I continue what I was on earlier before we started talking about the division. I think that what's going to happen is that the Lions, they're going to finish like the same they do this year. They're going to probably like get out of the divisional or wild card, whatever. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to probably win the division. And then Ben Johnson's going to go and get a head coaching job somewhere. I think
same thing I said about the Ravens. It is really difficult to make it to that round. A lot of luck is involved with actual ability.
Yeah.
And sure, they'll have a chance, but is everything going to go your way the way it did this year in Detroit, the way it did in Baltimore, the way it did in San Francisco?
The NFL is a game of luck, bro. It's literally, I mean, obviously there's a lot of skill involved, but at the same time, it's a game of luck. Like literally
that's because of the way the league is set up. It's all about parity. Yeah. There are new teams that are going to be competitive every single year. So when you have a chance, you got to take advantage. And I think everyone's been talking about that, at least in my circles with the Ravens, but it's the same conversation with the Lions. Yeah. They are a team. Yes, they're young. Yes, it was a Cinderella story. Yes, no one expected it, but that doesn't guarantee that you'll be back. Just ask a team. I mean, there's so many examples of that. Ask the Jaguars in 2017 about their next opportunity. Ask the Vikings in 2017 about their next opportunity when they make it back. Ask the Bengals about their next opportunity. They haven't made it back. So, yes, they were lucky. Yes, they were as the Falcons in 2016. I can go on and on and on. There's no reason to assume that they'll make it back. That doesn't mean that they won't. They are plenty capable, but you can't just assume that they'll make it back.
The 85 Bears were one of, if not the best football team of all time. Why didn't they win another ring?
What'd you say?
Proving your point. The 85 Bears were one of, if not the best football team of all time. Why didn't they win another ring?
Correct.
Exactly. And that's just how the NFL is, and that's why we love it and we hate it at the same time. Yeah. That's just how it goes. But
and none of and everything I'm saying isn't to say that they won't make it back, because they very well could. You just don't know.
Well, what I was gonna say, it's all because of the NFL's playoff structure. I mean, you look at other playoffs out there. You look at the NHL, NBA, best of 7 every single series. besides like the
Mhm.
play-in tournament, which nobody gives a fuck about the play-in tournament. Actually, this year it did matter. It did. Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Shout out for representing the play-in. The Bulls should
Yes.
have won that fucking game against them in the play-in. They were up by 8 points with 3 minutes left, and they blew it. But just in general, you go into the NBA playoffs in the first round and you lose your first game. Oh man, we're done. Just kidding. We have six more games left if we
That's
need
why the
them to get
NFL
over.
playoffs are the best one because it's single elimination. It's best of one.
The best
You
playoffs is
one
March Madness.
chance.
March Madness is the best, but NFL.
But
I like
what
watching
makes
the
March Madness the best? You have
one
one
game.
chance.
Yep.
It's the same argument.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, I love March Madness, but it's not football at the end of the day. It's not
Right.
football. You know, that's just
But
how
it
I'll
is the
always
same
be.
thing. You get one opportunity, and
Yeah, that's really it. I don't know. It's just it's a we asked for years that we wanted parity in the NFL, and now what I saw is this year a lot of people complained when we actually got it.
of course,
A lot of people did.
because parity means that it's not the same superstars that everyone loves, and everyone says, "What happened to the days of dominance?" Well, you just said you were tired of the dominance, and now you're not getting it, and you're annoyed. No,
It's just
Joe
it's just
Burrow doesn't have to make the playoffs
looking
every year.
back.
Guess what? I'm thrilled Joe Burrow wasn't in the playoffs this year. Sad he got hurt.
Yeah.
That obviously sucks. But him
You know-
not being in the playoffs is great.
Yeah. Here's my thing, right? I do agree that this wasn't like the best NFL season over the past couple
agree.
years. I think there's been a
Yeah.
lot better because I look back and almost every single year during the regular season, there's like 3 to 4 primetime games, primetime, that I can look back and go, that game was fucking awesome. That was awesome. This year, it felt like every time I'm watching Thursday Night Football, it's 15 to 20.
I agree with that.
And it's just the one game that was awesome on Thursday night was Cowboys Seahawks. That was awesome. It was just points and points and points and points and points, and it was awesome. That game and the first game of the year was decent. It was decent.
Lions Chiefs was good, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say decent at best. But yeah, I don't know.
Be interesting though to see what happens, and it goes back to the conversation we had all season long about 8 or so good teams. Everyone else not being very good. Well, that's what happened.
But now I think that next year is that good teams category is just growing by the year. It's growing now.
Exactly.
Yeah. And now it's starting to become not just 8. I'd probably throw maybe half the fucking league into the good team category next season, depending on how this offseason goes.
Well, the other conversation we had all year wasn't just everyone being not that very few teams being good. It was no one was really that bad. Everyone was kind of mid this season.
Yeah. Joshua, if you had to think, just like randomly off the top of your head, every offseason there's that one crazy trade where everybody's just like, what the fuck? What's the what the fuck trade this offseason?
In terms of player?
Yeah, player.
I'm trying to think of one that's not being talked about.
Off the top of my head, no idea. Last year it was basically Aaron Rodgers, even though like
no, but we knew that was coming.
Yeah, we did.
To me, it was DJ Moore.
Yeah,
not the number one overall pick. In terms of a player getting traded that shocked me, was DJ Moore.
Yeah, agreed.
I
feel like it's going to be draft night. Something crazy is going to happen on draft night because this is one of those off seasons.
Diggs is an interesting one.
Yeah, but he cries and complains every off season, and he always stays. I think that this year, because I think that this NFL offseason, there's some years where the entire offseason basically revolves around the draft, and I think that it's this year.
Yeah. Well, this draft is stacked. That's why.
It is stacked. And I think it's going to be like a major draft night trade.
But also what's interesting is this offseason is stacked because it's a really, really good draft class, and it's a really, really good free agent class. There's a lot of really good free agents as well. So this offseason is going to be really interesting because there's a lot of quality players in both categories.
I think that right
will
now
be available for the taking this offseason.
I think that right now that the biggest trade that we like have a decent idea that it's going to happen is probably Fields. That's right
or
now.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson too. Where the fuck would Russ go?
I think Atlanta makes so much sense.
I think that it makes sense for Justin to go to Atlanta, not Russ.
Yeah, one's in the AFC, one's in the NFC though. So I'm thinking Denver's more likely for them to do it.
Yeah. But I don't know, dude. It's just Justin going back to his hometown in Atlanta. I feel like that's perfect. And he would fit in so well on that offense. That rushing game with him and Bijan,
Mm-hmm.
that's fucking nuts,
And
dude.
Algier isn't bad either.
Dude, that is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That
And I
is.
love the Raheem Morris hire. And I told you, quarterback and a coach
Yeah.
away from winning a playoff game. Well, they got the coach. Let's see if they can get the
Mhm.
quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I just think honestly, I think that some team is trading up into the top 5 to get their quarterback. I think that that's like going to be the big trade. Somebody out of nowhere is going to trade up into the top 5 to get their quarterback.
Here's a wild card. I'm not saying this is going to happen. In fact, it probably won't. But if you want a name that would shock people, just pure shock value, then I think there's more than a non-zero chance of happening, but just not likely. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals trade up.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised.
Cardinals trade up. They're at 4, which is right behind
It
quarterback.
would be surprising. It would be surprising, but at the same time, it's like it makes sense. It
If
completely
one
makes
of the
sense.
3 teams, actually, I'll take Chicago out because they have the number 1 pick. If New England or Washington is looking at it and says Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, Bo Nix, none of them really impressed me that much. If one of those 2 teams say that, and they call up Arizona and they say, what would it take to get Kyler? I could see it. And the Cardinals trade up to either 2 or 3 and get a quarterback. I think that's
because
a
the thing is,
possibility.
dude, it would make sense for Arizona too, because Kyler's clock, his timeline does not line up with the rest of the team whatsoever.
Not at all.
The state of the Cardinals, no.
But it doesn't line up for New England or Washington either.
Yeah. I mean, Kyler could sit there and just rack up paychecks for the rest of his career and just retire and then just have a bag. I mean, I would be perfectly happy with that. But
yeah,
I don't know. I've always liked Kyler. Also, we have to talk about this now that I just remembered it. So, guys, after the Senior Bowl, Josh and Michael were doing a live stream together. And
I just had another player.
And Josh, number one, we got to get you some new drip. We got to get you some new drip, dude. We got to get you the new. I love the big blue Under Armour shirt. That was awesome. But guys, Josh was just standing there with Michael. They're on live. And I'm sitting in chat just wondering what the fuck's going on. And then all of a sudden, Josh would just like start walking in a circle, and then he just like get all giddy with this.
I didn't feel like he was just like standing still. I didn't want to do that. Like
It's
so
weird seeing Michael be taller than you. It's so weird.
Oh yeah, he's tall. Here's something I actually got to complain about here. I don't care about me being short. It's obvious. That's here for. People are giving Michael way too much height credit just because he's standing next to me. I can make anyone look tall. All right.
Would you and Michael standing next to each other be like a staircase almost?
Anyone who stands next to me is gonna look tall. So
how
people
tall
are
is
giving Michael way too much credit with his height. He's taller than me. Everyone's taller than me.
Yeah, but like how tall is Michael?
Like 5'11-ish, 5'10, 5'11-ish.
Oh, I'm like half a foot taller than him.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like he's not overly tall. That's just how everyone looks when they stand.
But he just looks like it, dude. He does. He just looks like it. And next to you, be his dude. If you've been in Next Network OG, I remember back in the day when Michael was just like a little baby.
Right.
You obviously you got older too, but Michael,
my voice was always this though.
Yeah, Michael, it's night and day. Night and day.
Completely.
And it's so weird seeing him taller than you. It really is. Mm-hmm. And then I called into the show, guys, if you were watching it.
The show.
You guys had a lot of people watching too. Yeah, there was like 350 people that I joined in and said, Josh and Michael have been sleeping in the same bed all week. And then they both got pissed. Oh, that's so cool. That's so awesome. Dude, you just got to get, what's it called? You got to get some khakis. Khakis are the best. You got to get a pair of khaki pants.
They're not comfortable. I get it. I know
they are comfortable. Khakis are. I fucking hate jeans. I hate jeans with a passion. I think that they're so uncomfortable. Do you like wearing jeans?
No.
I like wearing shorts. I just like wearing just regular athletic shorts. They're the comfiest things ever. But dude, a nice pair of khaki shorts or khaki pants, you got that, and then we got to get you a Jardinere shirt. That's how you know that you're like a boss. Do you even know what Jardinere is?
No.
It's just like a blend of peppers that's in Chicago. That's really it. I just have a shirt with it on it.
Did you see Rex Burkhead retired?
Rex Burkhead.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Played in the NFL for 10 years. Good for him.
Also, I'm officially meeting up with Jack on Friday. I don't know what we're doing, and I don't know when, but we're gonna find a way.
You know what I did
And
today?
I might be meeting up with Booker with Trent this weekend.
Nice.
He
So
just wants to play blackjack with me. That's all he wants to do. Which is on brand. On brand.
it is. My sister and her 7th grade class had a field trip today to
where?
M&T Bank Stadium.
What the fuck? You just get to go on a field trip to the stadium? What class is that for?
And so I heard about this, and naturally I was just like, yeah, can I chaperone that? I got a yes. So that's where I was today. I took a tour of the bank, which was awesome. That's a video I posted, and I'm checking actually. Oh, wow, actually it's doing pretty well. Speaking of which, our views recently, pretty damn good. For the last, ever since the divisional round, our views have, skyrocketed. It's the best this past, month or so has been the best we've had numbers-wise probably since the draft.
Well, I mean, it helps so much being on location for whatever you're doing.
Yeah. But even before that.
So much. It's literally night and day when I'm watching a Bears game at home versus there. Night and day. Night and day. Like sometimes the only game this year that I got really bad views was Christmas Eve, because that game was just and I was only there for a half because I had to go home for Christmas Eve dinner. But the Panthers Thursday night game, nobody gave a fuck about that game, including myself. I literally just had fun. I went for fun.
Right.
It didn't matter. But I don't know. It literally depends on literally what I've noticed is number one, if your team's doing good or really bad. It's one of the two. They either have to be doing really good or really bad.
Yeah, my little rant after the game got about 200K.
Yeah. And if you're in the stadium, that's the biggest thing I've noticed. But for the Bears draft, I'm going to the Bears draft party at Soldier Field. That's just...
Everyone has been saying that I'm blaming the refs, even though I make it very, very clear that I do not think that we would have won the game with good
because that was one of the first things you opened with. That's why.
Yeah, I know.
That's why. Which I mean, good clickbait. Good clickbait. Good.
Wasn't even intentional.
No, I know, but that's good comment bait.
Yeah, it was.
Dude, it's just natural, Josh. It's natural. It's natural, Josh. It is,
dude.
It really
is.
There's some people where it's just automatic, dude. They know exactly what to say.
Yep.
Panthers versus Bears game got 1.3 million views on YouTube. Yeah, that's fucking nothing. That game was horrible too. It was so boring. Terrible. Yeah. I had a great time though. If they lost, I literally would have been so mad, but they won. They didn't cover, which pissed me off. But yeah, isn't it weird that we're basically just done with football season?
Yeah. That was another thing I was talking about is, us getting eliminated and all that, sad, obviously, but that was such a fun team to root for this season.
Yeah.
And just knowing that I'm not going to be able to watch that team play any more games this year, even a regular season. It's sad to know that the story of a team that was that likable and that fun to watch is over. It's sad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Even if it ended in a Super Bowl win, the idea of just a team that fun that I got to watch every week, they're done. There's no more games for them to watch. And that's sad.
No, you're not wrong whatsoever. I mean,
they were. It was such a likable team. As obviously they were great, but the likability factor for the 2023 Ravens were so high. Yeah, so it's very unfortunate that it's over for them.
Yeah, even though the Bears blew cock, I don't get to watch them anymore.
Yeah,
it sucks until fucking September. Obviously we have preseason, but I mean real football.
Right. It's gonna be a really fun offseason though.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited for this offseason.
The free agency classes we just talked about, the free agency and the draft class are stacked.
I can't wait to be at Disney making videos about free agents again. That was so cool last year. People fucking loved it, dude. I'd be in line for fucking Winnie the Pooh, and I'd just be, let's go. Everybody around me would be staring at me, dude. What are you doing?
I'm so locked in whenever I go on those rants, either win or loss down the ramps. I someone said in the comments that someone should have like a camera of just what I look like. That would be so funny.
I
'Cause
get to
it's
go to the
not even a
bank in like
thought.
2 years, right?
What?
You said it was like in 2 years?
What about in 2 years?
When we play each other. It's in like 2 years, right?
I think so.
Let me
yeah.
look. That's 2024.
We got a brutal road schedule next year, but it's an easy home schedule. As of right now, obviously things can change in the off season.
2025. Yeah, next season it's at the bank.
Mhm.
So I get to go to the bank.
Let's go.
That'll be hype.
That
That'll
will
be
be.
real. That will be really hype.
That
Dude,
will be.
that's the one day where Josh is tailgating and he's pulling in the whole scene. I'm sure
Oh,
he's
you know what though? I'll say this because I had never done it. Was before the game, I went to like kind of the tailgate scene, and I just wanted to get some content out of there. Bro, I need to go there more often. The content there was I got swarmed.
I'm telling you, it's nuts.
Like I'm getting a mic next season. I'm doing street interviews. Before
Like you're not talking about are you talking about just like the parking lot or like the Ravens setup?
It's right outside the stadium.
Oh, okay. No, because you
Beach.
got to go like
That's like private school boys central, which is kind of apparently my demographic. That like private high school boys love me. So that's gonna be where
dude, in the parking lots.
I need to be I'm gonna get a mic next season. I'm doing so many street interviews before games next season. That's gonna be a whole new content.
It's awesome because what I'll do is right when I get there, like 8 in the for a noon game, I'll send them a video, and people just like see where I'm at in the fucking parking lot. And people just come up, they'll have a drink with us. Well, I always buy extra food. I'll fucking make him a burger. It's a great time. It's a great time, always.
It was funny. People were like offering me free drinks. I'm like, no. My cousin's like, what are you doing? Like, it reminded me of you. Like, what? You saying no? I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, dude. Josh.
Reminded me of you. Being like, why are you saying no?
Yeah, but me, Josh, and Michael. Michael has to come and sit next to us.
Yeah.
When we go. It has to be me, you, and Michael. Like, I could take you two would be like the only two people that I could that you guys could dish me during the game, like fuck you, bitch. I wouldn't care. Yeah. Like, I'd still have a great time. Anybody else, it pisses me off though. But yeah, I enjoy it, Josh. Maybe Jack could come too. We'll have the whole crew.
All four of us. I got 4 seats. That can be a game. My grandfather there's got to go.
That could, or me and Jack will just buy tickets, but we have to also we all have to sit by each other.
Pull up to 510.
It would be having Jack would have to be a Bears fan that day because I would need somebody with me. So that would be me and him versus you two.
Right.
And it would be great. But yeah, Wednesday, big episode. Right now, I'm going to hit the lab. The lab is sitting right at my desk. I got to send my ID and my social security number to multiple sports books to sign up for them and get ready for Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good game.
That's what I'm doing right now. But thank you guys for joining. I think that's a good spot to end it on, Josh. We talked about a good amount today.
It was a great episode. It was fun.
But Wednesday, we're Super Bowl ready. Be here at 2:00. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your dog, whoever you want. Yeah. Thank you, boys. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the love this weekend. I really do. I really do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
See you guys.